with many compliance obligations or legal requirements being published by external organisations such as the government and other public sector bodies. How should organisations with an environmental management system based on ISO 14001-2015 manage these documents from outside their organisation? Let's take a look. Welcome to EMSmastery, where we look at the successful strategies and tactics to master environmental management and sustainability. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Andrew Marlowe. This episode looks at one of the interpretations given by the ISO Technical Committee TC 207 Subcommittee 1, which is the subcommittee responsible for ISO 14001-2015 and other associated environmental international standards. The interpretation process operates as an escalation of an interpretation inquiry from a national member body such as BSI in the UK and ANSI in the United States, with all interpretation inquiries reviewed on an annual basis and their results published on the Subcommittee 1 website. It is important to note that its interpretations do not change the requirements of ISO 14001, but are intended to give users a better understanding of ISO 14001. The question about the status of compliance obligations or legal requirements within an environmental management system based on ISO 14001-2015 was raised by the American National Standards Institute, ANSI. The question asked was, are the compliance obligations identified under Clause 6.1.3 also documented information of external origin under Clause 7.5.3? To help with the understanding of this interpretation request, it is important to remind ourselves of the definition of the term compliance obligation. Clause 3.2.9 defines the preferred term compliance obligations and also makes reference to the previous term used in ISO 14001-2004, namely legal requirements and other requirements as the admitted or maybe could be considered the deprecated term. The definition reads, legal requirements that an organisation has to comply with and other requirements that an organisation has to or chooses to comply with. As we can see, it covers both legal requirements such as acts and regulations, as well as other requirements such as voluntary code of practices or trade body membership requirements. The two notes to this definition are particularly helpful as they clarify in Note 1 that the compliance obligations must be related to the environmental management system as defined in Clause 3.1.2, and in the Note 2 that compliance obligations can arise from mandatory requirements such as applicable laws and regulations, as well as from voluntary commitments such as organisational and industry standards, contractual relationship, codes of practice and agreements with community groups or non-governmental organisations. If you're getting value out of this episode, please click on the like button. And if you want to see more environmental and sustainability videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. The interpretation response given stated, yes, as long as the source of the documented information that contains the compliance obligations is generated, documented and controlled by an entity external to the organisation. This interpretation response gives clarification that any document supporting compliance obligations, whether they relate to legal requirements or other requirements such as voluntary commitments, is the responsibility of an external organisation, then the documents must be considered as documents of external origin within the environmental management system. For example, legal requirements determined by the national, regional or local government will be documents of external origin, whether they are accessed as a hard copy or accessed through a government portal such as the www.legislation.gov.uk website in the UK, which provides access to all UK and devolved nations legislation. Additionally, access to legislation using services provided by external contractors such as Barber EHS in the UK will be documents of external origin. If you need a referral to the Barber EHS resources, then I can give you a referral code which will give you a £100 Amazon voucher according to their latest referral guidelines in April 2020. Drop me a comment in the box below if you want to take up this offer. So, to summarise, the ISO TC 207 Subcommittee 1 interpretation clarifies the source of the documented information that contains the compliance obligations is generated, documented and controlled by an entity external to the organisation. Therefore, any document supporting compliance obligations, whether they relate to legal requirements or other requirements such as voluntary commitments, is the responsibility of the external organisation. Then these documents must be considered as documents of external origin within the environmental management system. Further information on this interpretation and the resources mentioned in this episode are given in the description box below, including a link to the resources on the EMSmastery.com website. If this episode has helped to advance your understanding of compliance obligations as documents of external origin, leave a comment in the box below if this video has helped you. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel to ensure that you don't miss out on other episodes on environmental management and sustainability. Until then, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch other episodes by clicking on the boxes in the top and bottom right, and to subscribe to this channel, click on the link to the left. Thank you.